So I'm waiting for people to show up. Thought I would just talk a little bit about conspiracy theories. I am a proud conspiracy theorist. So exciting to see them all coming true. This one's from A Coal Miner's Daughter. Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing my daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make poor man's dollar. Hi, Wes. In the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear. Hey, Tate. But in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling the hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Mommy loved to raise 8 kids on a miner's pay. Mommy washed our clothes on a washboard every day. Hi, Gretchen. Well, I'd seen her fingers bleed. To complain, there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. In the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear. But in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. Wait, I think I did that one already. Hi, Gretchen. Gretchen, you just made my night. I had a feeling that you guys are waiting to hear from me, and I have literally been trying to go live all day, and I just kept getting bamboozled and finding other stuff I had to do, and the weather's really cold, so not going outside. It's like 60s, low 60s out there. I know, it's -2 up north. I know you have snow. I get it. I'm a whiny little baby here in the tropics. I understand. I know I used to be like you. But now I live in Florida, so I have a different view of cold than you do. Hi, lady. So hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Beach Report. You guys, there is so much to talk about these days that I can barely contain myself. Oh my goodness. The news is just like, it's crazy. 60s are the best temperatures for us. I think it's a little bit cold life. I like it to be in the 70s. What's the weather like in Nashville? Hi, Tony. Because here in Florida, even when it looks sunny, the sun does make it a little bit warmer, but yeah. Who are you talking about? Who's crashing out? What does that mean? Hello, Arturo. Hello, everybody. Good to see you guys. Hey, Donna. 56. That's a lot. I'll karaoke. Yeah. You tell me a song, I will sing it. Snow in North Carolina. That is crazy. You don't get a lot of snow there, right? Yeah, let me know what you want to hear. You got a song you want to hear? I'll sing it for you. I have to be careful, though. I have to sing everything a cappella. I know the word is a cappella, but I like to say a cappella because it's fun, and that's what I do. Yeah. Give me real songs, though. Donna. Ooh. Okay. Well, thank you, Chris. Some things are being said here. I don't understand any of them. Oh, thank you, lady. 43 degrees. And thank you for letting those in Europe know it's 6 degrees Celsius in Nashville. Lady, you are not completely American, are you? Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far. Like a sun. You know, that's a song that needs two people. Of love that sings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. All right, ladies, full American. I just was surprised that you had put 6 degrees Celsius. I mean, I'm full American too, but I lived in Switzerland for 10 years and I learned about the metric system. I'm drinking my hot tea though. Dang, it's not hot anymore. So Danny says, did you see where they put together a video of Natalie and her dad singing that song together? I did. I did. It made me cry. Thank you for requesting it. It's a great song. Thank you for liking the hair. I'm a widow. I don't date. If you hurry, you can come to Michigan and enjoy your 50-mile-an-hour winds and a negative 25-hour wind chill on Saturday. Yeah, Jim, you know what? You do that and let me know how it goes. Yeah, I can't even imagine. And I used to live in Switzerland. I know how cold. I used to live in Pittsburgh where it's pretty much cold and gloomy all the time. Like 10 months out of the year. Pittsburgh weather just made you want to end it every day. But that's why I live in Florida. All right, well, we've got some good people on tonight. The Pennsylvania polka. I only know that, what is it, the Steelers song, or how did that go? Da, 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 da. So I have a lot of lyrics in my head and melodies, and they have to like kind of click together when I need to remember a song, because I have like this crazy memory for songs and lyrics and stuff. And that it's another year in coming, so keep that Steeler machinery humming. Something like that. I know that's the Steeler polka. I don't remember how the Pennsylvania polka goes. I'm a Pittsburgh girl. And that's all I know. Yeah, Don, I wish I could sing Funeral for a Friend for you. I love that feeling in my hand. How does that go? I wish I could use the music and do a real karaoke show for you tonight, but I will lose all my monetization. So if you guys really want to hear a song, then you might have to super chat me to make it worth my while. I'm just saying, if you really want me to do a performance, if you want me to do a karaoke show, I can do a karaoke show. I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories because I am a conspiracy theorist. Oh, thank you, Wes. I'm not a real singer. I just play one on YouTube. But that's very sweet. Wes says, my voice and singing are just as beautiful and exquisite as I am. Beautiful on the inside and out. What a wonderful thing to say to somebody. You're very nice. I heard Steelers might actually win 5 games this year. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't understand football. Okay, Dabby wants to hear the conspiracy theories. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I just got a gift. So what song do you want to hear? Send me a gift, I'll sing you a song. How about we do that tonight, okay? Send me a gift and I'll sing you a song. If I can sing that song, because, you know, it's funny when you take requests from people, you have to be sure you can sing it. You see, when Anthony Corrado takes requests, then it's always really like hard, like it's a challenge, let's just say. And try to be respectful or you won't be allowed to talk on the beach report. Just saying. Silly boys. Why do boys do that? I don't understand. Anyway, all right. You love conspiracies. All right. Well, okay. If you want a song, you guys gotta let me know what to sing. I like to sing. I sing lots of different songs. I love to do show tunes. Actually, just say a show and I'll sing it for you. Like, or I'll throw it out to you. We could do Evita. We could do Hair. We could do West Side Story. We could do um, something that comes to my mind. Okay. Okay, this comes from Greece. Maybe you guys recognize this one. There are worse things I could do than go with a boy or two. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good, I suppose it could be true. But there are worse things I could do. I could flirt with all the guys, smile at them and bat my eyes, press against them when we dance, make them think there's still a chance, then refuse to see it through. That's a thing I'd never do. I could stay home every night, wait around for Mr. Right, take cold showers every day, and throw my life away on a dream that won't come true. I could hurt someone like me out of spite or jealousy. I don't steal and I don't lie, but I can feel and I can cry. A fact I'll bet you never knew. But to cry in front of you, that's the worst thing I could do. I love that song. Yep, that's from Greece and sung by Rizzo. And just a cool song about a teenage girl flipping out. Well, you know I won't be that papa, sitting here all alone, papa. Papa, and please look at the phone. Don't be true to a heart that's blue. Don't be true to a heart that's blue. I don't always know the words, I just make them up. I don't want no other lover. Baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and seamways enough to climb. There are moonbeams and sunbeams enough to glow, enough to show, if we tell you so. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. All right, you guys, why don't we go into the conspiracy theories? Um, Michael, I'm old. So, you get better with age. You're not better when you're younger. You're better when you're older. Think about it. Anyway, thank you guys for your kind words. I like the nice people way better than the nasty people, that's for sure. Sorry, I'm still getting over this cold, but you know what? I feel like it helps my singing voice to have a little bit of congestion and a head cold. I don't know what that's all about, but okay. So, do you guys want to talk about conspiracy theories now? Dabby has a cold too. Oh well, it's a conspiracy theory, Dabby, right? It might be. Ooh, that's what COVID was. So, just saying. Always be weird. Always be one of a kind. Okay, so I have been. I don't want to say I've been researching. I've been researching my whole life, right? And so lately, the conspiracy theories are all the chickens are coming to roost. And there is a new sheriff in town. And we are all learning the truth about things that I've been talking about for the last 15, 20 years. And people said it was crazy. Yeah, I knew about Epstein long before it was in the news. Don't ask me how I know these things. Sometimes I find things out in the weirdest ways. But I've been using AI to try to make sense of everything that's going on in the world right now. And what I found out is that AI will not talk about anything that isn't documented. So if you work with AI, if you want to learn things from the AI or teach the AI, which is what I'm always trying to do, is teach the AI. All we need is more cowbell on a bad day. Yeah, cowbells are great. Hey, Richard. Okay, so here's the thing. I have found out that the AI will not talk about anything that is conspiracy theory and hasn't been proven. So that's why when you go looking for information that is like, this is true, for instance, the 2020 election was stolen, right? We know this. I was there. I saw President Trump win that election at night. It was like, I don't know, 11 o'clock midnight when I went to sleep. And I woke up in the morning shocked that they were calling this demented old man the president of the United States. And the facts are coming out about that every day. But here's the thing. When it comes to AI, it has to be really proven. And you can stump the AI all the time because, again, it is just a machine and it is pretty stupid if you ask me. I mean, it's not stupid, but it gets its information from stupid places. And that's why you can't trust it. However, it is very good at finding court documents and things that are actually documented. So if you think that it's crazy to say that there are human trafficking rings throughout the world, always have been, but there are right now, um, you can ask AI, and I've got a list of them. And I know all of these myself, okay? I've been watching this for years. I've been documenting it. I've been talking about it on the Beach Report for the past 10 years at least. And AI Siri, they're all AI, but whatever. Let's go through. Let's go through the fact that there are sex trafficking rings. They are run by wealthy, famous individuals. Hi, Jenny. I'm glad you're here. You're just in time. We're going to dive into some conspiracy theories and we're going to talk about them and how they are now conspiracy facts. Trump is worse because he tells you what you want to hear. don't think that Trump is telling us what we want to hear. A lot of things I don't want to hear. But no, you're absolutely wrong about that. President Trump knows the truth. And if you look at the whole Epstein situation, what you need to understand is that President Trump was the FBI informant. President Trump was the one who turned Epstein in. Epstein was arrested on President Trump's watch. Epstein files have come out since President Trump is president. So, and if you think that he didn't troll all of the fools into begging for the Epstein files, you know, you don't know who you're dealing with. President Trump is the one who has literally broken the case on everything. He's lifting the stone up and showing you what's underneath it. All of the creepy crawlies. And what you now have to understand is that all of the creepy crawlies are the people you watch on television, and some of them are judges, and some of them are heads of state, some of them are top officials, some of them are presidents, former presidents, and some of them are people you never would expect. But it's about time, Jenny, you're right. And people like me have been waiting for so long because it is so difficult to know the truth about all of this, and yet nobody will accept it as truth. And even trying to talk to AI is really difficult if it hasn't been documented, if it hasn't gone through the courts, if it hasn't been a credible evidence, which the Hildebeest. Let's talk about the Hildebeest. You know, that's what I call the wife of the former President Clinton. I can't even say her name or his name really, because I think that they're so despicable and reprehensible. It's like speaking the name of Beelzebub. You know, it's just like bad news. Hi, Kenneth. They're going to accept the truth now, prisoner. They're going to have to. I have never been to the Dominican Republic or Cuba, but I married a Cuban, so it's almost like I've been there. My Cuban husband told me everything, and he knew a lot, and he worked for Castro, so yeah, the movie You Can't Handle the Truth. Oh my gosh, Michelle and I watched Eyes Wide Shut last night. It's disgusting. Just, these are disgusting people, and all they can think about are their body parts. I don't know. Anyway, no, we would never get this kind of exposure if the Democrats were involved, because a lot of the Democrats are involved. And the biggest Democrats involved are the Clintons. Every single conspiracy theory you've ever heard about the Clintons, I think 99% of them are true. Hi, Danish. And if they don't get arrested, and if they don't be held accountable for their crimes, and I do mean both of them, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was married to Ray Becerra, but yeah, I should. Sounds like Ricky Ricardo. You know, he was not a musician. He was an animal handler. He was actually a falconer, could catch birds out of the sky. But I'm not going to let anybody forget what these people have done. It's not on both sides. No, prisoner, not like this. There's one side that is made of pure evil and has been trying to destroy our country for the last 4 years. There are some people on the other side, on both sides, but it's not all of them. Yeah, I get you, prisoner. I know there's definitely rhinos There's definitely even, well, I think the Republicans, like, I think one of the worst ones is probably Boehner. His wife is his handler. If anyone's married to a Chinese national in America, especially an American politician, that's not your wife or your husband. That's your handler. I do not speak Spanish. I speak German. My first husband was actually Swiss, and I lived in Switzerland for 10 years. I escaped America for a while, but I had to come back. Here I am. Here I am back to save America. Rhinos, as in Republican in name only. That's what Rhino stands for. Ah, Amsterdam. I know it well. I met my ex-husband in Amsterdam, actually, at the Hard Rock Cafe. Well, I'm pretty sure that President Trump has not done any of the really disgusting things that we are about to talk about right here. Let's talk about number one, Nexium. That's spelled Nxivm. Ooh, Roman numerals, right? So this was a cult. And it was running, I think, in the 90s. Well, since the 90s. They had this cult leader named Keith Raniere, who you probably have never heard of. But then he was working with these very wealthy women like the Bronfman. Have you ever heard of them? They're just like millionaires. And then this actress named Allison Mack, who turned out to be a pimp, basically, and also a kind of a torturer. Like, she would torture these women. And they said that they were going to like make their lives better, and it got so bad that Allison Mack, and I don't know if Keith was doing these things, but Allison sure was. They were branding women like cattle, like with a branding iron, telling them that it was for the best or whatever. They would write on their bare asses, and no drugs to make it easier. Literally branding people. It was pretty nasty. Okay, just quickly, I'm just gonna run through them and not do each one too much. You guys let me know if there's one that you really want to hear about. Then there's Peter Nygaard, and he was from Canada, and he also was in the Bahamas with, I think he had his own island. And he did things like sexual exploitation, trafficking, and coercion. He was federally charged. He would recruit women through modeling promises. And then he had something called pamper parties, which was where the elites would be pampered by the victims, and it was really gross. Um, and it was international what he did. His victims, he would get them from everywhere, and do horrible things to these girls. You know, the modeling industry. It's not something that I never personally considered, but people often would say things to me like, "You should be a model," and all this stuff. And it's funny. My biological father, I wrote a book about being stalked by my biological father. I was given up for adoption as a baby, and this man, as a complete stranger, showed up in my dorm room and tried to get me back. It was weird. And one of the things that he wanted to do was have me drop out of college, that I was in college to become a journalist. And he wanted me to drop out of college and go to modeling school. And I was like, that's the craziest damn thing I've ever heard. I mean, I'm 5'4", okay? I'm not a model size. I don't have a model's body. Okay, maybe I got good hair. That's about it. Good teeth, good hair does not make you a model. And I never wanted to be a model. In fact, I want to talk to you about something else. One of my followers, become friends, was talking to me on the phone the other day, and she said to me, "You must realize that nobody would listen to you if you weren't very beautiful." And I have to disagree with that because I've never wanted to be on camera. I never wanted it to be a case where people are only looking at me, talking to me, befriending me, whatever, because of the way I look. And I put that to the test my whole life. When I was younger, uh, I was I was a pretty little girl, I'll admit that. But I was a writer, and all I ever wanted to do was be a writer and have people hear my voice. Not be looking at me, not be thinking, oh, isn't she cute? No, actually hear the voice of the person writing, a person with no face, just experiences life. So I became a newspaper writer. I wrote for magazines. I wrote for Nickelodeon television, and I was behind the camera. And they did put me in front of the camera many times, but they always put me in costume. I never looked like myself. And that was great. And I liked it that way. I never, ever wanted to be out in front. And it wasn't until 10 years ago when I started doing the Beach Report because I had to do it. I became an author. I wanted to sell my books. I wanted to talk about why we should not elect the wildebeest. And that's what happened. And if you don't like it, Jefferson, go away. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, I am not here trying to influence you in any ways about. I'm not looking for a boyfriend or I'm not wearing any makeup. This is really, it's just about the facts and the things that I've found out in the past 60 years of life, that the world is a really nasty place. There are some very, very bad people out there who don't care anything about humanity. And they are actually looking to use people. And we have to accept that right now. So thank you, Gracie. Thank you, guys. But I just want to make it clear that I do this because I believe in it. Because this is my job, this is my calling. And when I think about women who want to be models and they have to rely on people for, oh, you're so pretty, and if you come into the back room, you can get a job, that never works for me. And I didn't ever have to do that. And I'm lucky because the pretty girls who rely on being pretty get taken advantage of. This is my point, that it's dangerous to be pretty. It gets you in a lot of trouble. And don't think I haven't had my share of trouble come in my way that I was like, no. But I was lucky. I didn't have to. I wasn't almost trafficked. Someone tried to traffic me when I was in college. I had a friend who was a senior, and he called me one day and he asked me if I would go out to dinner with a Korean gentleman. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, if you do this, you'll get $500. I said, you must have me confused with a prostitute. And he's like, no, you don't have to do anything. Nothing like that. Just go to dinner with him. That's all. Get $500. It's that easy. I wasn't born yesterday, and I wasn't desperate for $500 either. So I was lucky because I was in college. My parents forbid me to work. All I had to do was go to school. Yeah, I didn't need $500 from having dinner with the Korean man. That to me sounded scary and wrong, and I would never do it. And I told this guy, guess what? We're no longer friends. Don't ever call me again. Don't ever talk to me again. I think you're a pig. And that's what happened. But that isn't the way it goes for some girls. The girls that went to the Epstein mansion, most they come from lower class families, and I'm not saying I'm super high class or anything, but I was raised to not have to worry about things like that. I was never abused. I was treated like a princess my whole life. So I didn't have to be doing anything for money. And sometimes you even see on my show here, people say like, do whatever, and I'll give you $900 or something. I'm like, whatever. No, no. Nobody should ever feel like they have to do things that debase them for money. But that's how human trafficking works. And for the younger people who are watching my show, and I don't see my teenagers on here right now, I do have a few teenagers who watch the Beach Report. And I do want to tell them that you never need to be desperate, and you don't have to just do whatever an older person tells you and they're going to give you money for it. If it feels wrong, it's wrong. Anyway, that's how these human trafficking operations work most of the time, is they take advantage of somebody who thinks that they're going to get something great, and to, tell a young woman, you can be a model, you can have a great career. Even if they're in that industry, the modeling industry is the most despicable industry there is, right up there with the television industry, or television, all the acting, all of that stuff. Vicky says, I'm sorry, I'm still getting over my cold. This world is not the same, and it's only going to get worse if we don't take another approach with this. Hi, Barbara. Thank you. But yeah, we had to take another approach. Exactly. Yeah, that's good. Be a real musician. Exactly. I'm a real writer. I sing, but I'm not a real singer. The music industry is horrible too. You're right. Any industry where you have talent, you have that spark, and there are people who will take advantage of you. It is so, so wrong. Oh, good. Oh, we love blues guitar. Have I ever covered you, Fair Game? Are you from South Florida? The weather is cold, Barbara. I didn't do an outside beach report today. Anyway, okay, I'm going to run down this list of these are tried and true, real, not true, but you know what I mean, bad uh, human trafficking networks. Oh yeah, I know where Hollywood is. Peter Nygaard, so we talked about that one, from Canada. And then we have Jeffrey Epstein, which was Virgin Islands and international. And they were all over the world. Okay, what about the UK's Rotherham grooming gangs? That was where there have been hundreds of convictions, but there are thousands of victims, because the grooming gangs have been operating in England for the past, I think, 30, 40 years. Generation of England's daughters and some sons have been horribly treated. And when they go for help, they don't get any help. It's very, very bad. Oh, fair game. The human hunting trips. I don't want to talk about those at all, but that's a real thing. Then we have a group from the United States called the Finders. And you guys, these are not conspiracy theories. These are all facts. These have all been investigated by law enforcement, and there have been documents released through the FOIA Act, the Freedom of Information Act, about the Finders, that they call them a mysterious group investigated for child exploitation. This is one of those cases where official explanations never fully will satisfy the public. There are a lot of conflicting reports about it, but they would literally find children for rich people. They'd say, I want a 5-year-old blonde, something, describe the child, and the Finders would go and get that child for you. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Vicky, so you will be writing my book, and I would be proud to have you as my author. No, you'll be the author, Vicky. I'll be the publisher. The elites, the elites have human hunting games. Actually, not just elites. In fact, a book that I recently published last year by Joshua Daniel Hayes talks about in his book how he was hunted by his stepfather. Um, I should find that chapter. I don't have the book right here. Do I? No, but I'll read it to you later. And he talks about how his stepfather would literally give him a weapon, send him into the woods, and then go hunt him. And that's a chapter in his book. And please check it out, jillbooks.com, where I have published 2 books myself. And then there's another book there by Joshua Daniel Hayes called Still Standing. So please check it out. A little bit about Joshua's book is that I published Joshua's book completely free of charge. I'm not doing that for anybody else, but I felt that I needed to publish a book that wasn't mine. And I was talking to Joshua, and it was his dream to become an author. He does not have a way to pay me or anybody to do that. And I could tell that he was going to be a good writer, and his story was compelling about growing up with child abuse. I believe he grew up in Oklahoma, and his mother was, not in her right mind, and he had different fathers or father figures in his life who were always abusive, and then family members that he got left with, and just child abuse is the scourge of the world. It is the worst thing ever, ever. I didn't refuse to answer something. I don't know what you've asked, so you're gonna have to try again because I did not see your question. I don't see them all. Sometimes they go fast, and I'm not always looking. Yeah, just bring it. Oh, Gretchen says, not the topic right now. Bring it up later. My girls know. So, yeah, I'm going to trust them. Anyway, talking about child abuse. So, the great thing about the book by Joshua Daniel Hayes, Still Standing, is that he actually tells you what to look for. He writes the book from the from not the opinion, but the point of view of somebody who has gone through child abuse, and now he's got dealing with his life. He's got a daughter and a wife, and he has disabilities. He was a police officer, which is amazing because he turned his life around. So he wrote this book thinking that he would help people who were just like him. And then I read it and I publish it, and I'm like, well, I don't know anything about child abuse, but it sure does teach me what to look for in society when there is a child who has been abused. So we're not going to talk about abortion right now. I don't believe in it. I was a unwanted pregnancy when I started my life. I think that people do, at this point, you have to make up your own mind about that. It is not for me to tell you what to do. I don't make any laws, but I want people to love their children. And I understand there are different circumstances throughout the world, and everybody's got their own issues to deal with and their own perspective, right, Donna? So, but I am talking about child abuse right now. I'm talking about the child that you might see that looks dirty and not cared for and could be very abused. I'm talking about the children who seem invisible to the rest of us. So I think that it depends. When you grow up, you either take responsibility for yourself or you become a victim. And if you have had a really hard life and you're blaming others for your hard life, you will forever be a victim and you will probably not get better. But if you have a hard life and you grow up and you realize that yes, things were bad and people treated you badly, but it is up to you how you handle it. If you feel that you can rise above it and you can be a better person and you can show everybody who said you were worthless that you're not worthless. And if you know in your heart that God loves you, all of that is possible. And that's the great thing also about Josh's book, is that he grew up and out of it. And he's an adult and he is still suffering, but I gave him the ability to have a book so he can become a speaker and he can sell the book and he can make, I give him books, I send him books for free so that he can support his family. And I hope that I'm giving him a leg up, not a handout. It's a leg up. So I would hope, it's Stuart's a former cop. I'll bet you've seen some bad things, Stuart. I bet you have. Why would anybody says I advocate for child abuse? What are you talking about? I don't know. It seems like DJ wants to fight with me, but I don't want to fight with anybody. I'm saying that I do wish you would buy Josh's book because, again, there's no profit for me off of it, but it does help Josh to support his family. He's telling his story. He deserves it. So if you do buy a copy of Josh's book, please know that all proceeds from Josh's book go to Josh so that he can support his family with the work that he's done. But children today are in the most danger than they ever were before, because even the most loved children can be abused online, or they can be abused at school. They can be abused by teachers. In fact, something that I never imagined was like a real problem, but in the past 10 years, I've learned that it is, which is the abuse of teachers against students. And it's usually, well, I don't know about usually, but it used to usually be men. Now it is also women, and it's a lot of women. Thank you, Gretchen. Okay, so let's go into the Franklin scandal, Franklin Credit Union case. This was a trafficking and abuse ring. There were grand jury investigations and some convictions for related financial crimes. Allegations of abuse remain disputed. And you know, they remain disputed. They certainly did happen because there were claims of trafficking connected to political and social elites. There were witness intimidation allegations, which is what they do, media investigations. And even when the courts don't fully resolve a case, there are patterns of testimony that absolutely matter. Thank you always. I am trying to help humanity one person at a time. I am. I actually try to help more than one person at a time, which is why I do the beach report, because I don't want to just affect the person next to me. I want to affect a lot of people, and I can do that with my voice. All right, here's another one. The Catholic Church Abuse Network, which is global. Systemic sexual abuse and cover-ups. Thousands of documented cases, numerous convictions, and global investigations that consisted of abuse of children, institutional protection of offenders, which is a huge problem, transfer of accused clergy, and decades of secrecy. I bet there are some people watching right now who were abused by the Catholic Church. The Loverboy Trafficking Networks. Now, this is European. This is an organized trafficking ring that used romantic grooming. They would use young men to seduce vulnerable girls and get them to start selling their bodies. They would traffic them across borders. And this is all Europe, but the romance scams and all that stuff, trafficking, it's happening right now. All right, so the next one is the La Luz del Mundo Church. This was a Mexican and U.S. one. No, I'm not Dominican, I'm an American. It's a religious organization with documented sexual exploitation. The leader is named Nason Joaquin Garcia, and he was convicted in California. They abused children. They had coercive religious activity, which means, they'd use the name of God to make people do what they wanted and groom people within the church. They could get people internationally. Now, let's talk about the children of God briefly. The Family International. We first heard about the children of God from Oprah Winfrey. The Oprah. Oh, the Oprah. Used to be my greatest desire was that I would have a book in Oprah's book club. I thought that was so great. I thought Oprah was so great. The point I'm making is that these trafficking rings are real, and it's time we accepted this. It's time we knew what it looked like so that our children now who haven't been infected by this will not be. And I think we also all need to demand arrests for the people who perpetrate these kinds of crimes because it's the scourge of humanity. The children of God, like I was saying, was first introduced to us by the great Oprah. Yes, we should arrest them all. Yes. Oprah told us that this man, there was like this priest, I'll never forget, he looked like, he was a weird, shadowy figure. And Oprah just loved him, had him on her show and everything. And it turned out it was a cult. They exploited children. There were a lot of survivors that gave memoirs and testimonials, and it was just, when they use religion in order to exploit people, that's right up there with using romance to exploit people. It's taking people's deepest fears or deepest wants and using it against them. Oprah, when very young, she proclaimed Jesus was her savior, but has since sold out to Satan. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mordecai. We're talking about conspiracy theories. I've been talking about this stuff for more than 10 years now, and I finally see that it's mainstream, and I can talk about it in a way that people are now understanding that I was right the whole time. Hello, Fred. Why is the FBI not arresting? That's a great question, and I would love to know the answer as well. I think if we don't start seeing arrests very soon, the public is going to have a freak out. I'm going to have a freak out because I can't take it anymore, knowing that there are these people who exploit children and worse. Did you guys watch the P. Diddy testimonials, hearings over the past summer? I mean, right there, you hear these people will protect the rich and famous at all costs, even to themselves. They will let them beat them up. They will let them drug them, everything. They will let it all happen, and then they'll cry about it afterwards. But for some reason, they let them happen. No, I was never on a CBS show. I stay the heck away from mainstream everything. I did used to write for Nickelodeon Television, and yes, I did a little bit of. They would put me on their ads and stuff. We used to call it nickel and diming because I worked in the back. I was one of the writers, and they used me as an extra all the time because I was free, not because I was the it girl or anything like that. I was always in heavy makeup. Looking like a child, so sometimes I look pretty horrible on national television. But I wasn't on national television trying to get famous. That's for dang sure. I never ever wanted that for myself. And even doing this show, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and seeing people coming on and sometimes saying horrible things to me. I'm okay. I'm used to it now after 10 years, but it's pretty nasty. No arrest because he goes very high up, very powerful, rich, influential people involved. Clearly. Yep, you're right, Joe. However, we can't put up with this anymore because it's our kids they're stealing. It's I don't know personally know anybody who has been affected by this, but you do know these people. You've been watching them on television for their whole lives. People like Britney Spears. Let's talk about Britney Spears. That poor girl. She is a conspiracy theory all by herself. And and what do you think? Why do you think the president is compromised? Because they tried to kill him, because they tried to put him in jail, because they've done everything they can to destroy him. Well, he doesn't get destroyed. So I don't know what you're worried about, Senator. I personally am not worried about President Trump. I think there is no stronger person fighting for us at the moment. However, I do wish that he would say something about this horrible. Mordecai says, I'd like to say, as an ex-Hasidic man, this is interesting, from a Satmar family, that the Israeli government is what? Is what? Tell us. No, Trump is actually uncovered it all. So how could you say he's complicit? What's wrong with you? Why would you ask me if I'm a lesbian? What's wrong with you? Seriously. Anyway, the crazy people are here. Hi. Also, please don't ask me personal questions. I'm not here being personal about my life, okay? I'm talking about conspiracy theories, and if we need to talk about personal questions that have to do with my journalism and conspiracy theory stuff, then we can talk about that, okay? But don't think that I'm gonna date you or anything. It's not. Okay, evil. You said the word evil, Mordecai. What's evil? Did you say the Israeli government is evil? Okay. Well, Mordecai, I'm going to say you probably would know that better than I do. Vicky says, I was kidnapped in the 70s by my stepfather for 9 months, and he kept telling them that I was a runaway. So after 9 months, the FBI found me, and he never served a day. Wow. Wow, Vicky. Yeah, we need to work together. Rachel, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Rachel. Mordecai says, I do not like Bibi. You're not alone. You're not alone in that one, Mordecai. A lot of people have problems with Israel. Israel is too secular. Well, isn't that how it happened on Hanukkah? I love the story of Hanukkah because that's what it's about. All the Jews started living in Syria and acting like Syrians and becoming just as lawless and godless as the Syrians were. And the little band of Maccabees, led by Mordecai, the little band of Maccabee Jews who were very, very devout Jews, and they fought the Syrian army all by themselves pretty much, and they won. And that's the real story of Hanukkah. There is not enough Talmud Torah in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah. Well, you're probably right about that, Mordecai. Actually, I have heard, and I don't know for sure, but that human trafficking is rampant in Israel. I don't know why. I just know that I've heard that. One more. International trafficking rings exposed by Interpol. There are ongoing operations. They call them there's one, for instance, Operation Libertera. And here they do forced labor, sexual exploitation, migrant trafficking, fake job recruitment. Fake job recruitment is a big problem, by the way. People who are looking for work are also at risk of being exploited. I don't know if you realize this. It did happen to me once. I do dog sitting. I only dog sit for friends and dogs I know, but a friend of mine called me and said that she heard of a dog sitting job, and I didn't understand that this was a job in a paper or something. Like, it wasn't a friend of hers. I thought it was a referral from a real person, and she didn't realize that these things could happen, and just saw this job and forwarded it to me. And I failed to understand that this was not a real person who she knew. And I tried to go for the job and apply for it, and these people tried to steal my identity. So you have to be very careful. You cannot just take jobs from ads in the newspaper anymore. Everything is a scam, and you have to be careful. It just, you are, if you want something, if you you want a job, or something you feel that you need, you are at risk of being exploited. Unfortunately, everybody is. And I think whatever's happening in Israel is, I don't know enough to say anything about it, but I have a feeling it will all work itself out. And by the way, you do have to have faith in the Lord, Mordecai. So, I don't know what a Sylvester is, but yes, I'm a Cohen, but I'm a Cohen in name only. I was adopted as a baby, and I was taken to the mikvah. So that's what happened to me. So people are always, you're always trying to look at people, and you're always trying to pigeonhole them. Nobody can pigeonhole this girl, because who knows who I really am, right? We need Chabad leadership in Israel. Maybe you do. I don't know. It's interesting. But I do have to worry about Chabad and Lubavitch Jews in America, because I think they might be part of a welfare scams. Tell me if I'm wrong, but this is something that's been going on. I could be wrong. My parents were wonderful, Mordecai. I was very lucky, and I was raised by wonderful people until up until I was a teenager and found out my dad was a cheater. So there's that. But I wrote a whole book about it. Grab my book. Grab my book. It's called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? I know it's backwards, but that's me on my birthday. That's my parents on the day they brought me home from the adoption agency. 365 pages of all sorts of good fun. Yeah, I'm Yisrael Chai. I have friends who are Israeli, but I've never been to Israel, although my son was actually bar mitzvahed there. But he went as part of that, what's it called, where you get the kids you get to go for free to Israel. Did you know that every Jewish kid all over the world can take a free trip to Israel by the time they're a certain age? Yeah, it's a true story, bro. My son took advantage of it. Yeah, anyway. All right, do you guys want to sing more songs, or do you want to talk about different conspiracy theories? We never got an explanation as to why they were digging tunnels in New York and escaping from sewers on video. Tate wants a song. Tate, tell me what you want to hear. But you're right. Yeah, tunnels. Tunnels, dumbs. Deep underground military bases. Yeah, that's a thing. All those tunnels. How about the tunnels that went from from Gaza over into Israel? Weren't there a lot of tunnels there? Different sects push different things. Yeah, well, that's a problem. Can't we just all be human? What's up with that? I don't understand. And by the way, Mordecai, I accepted Jesus back in 2018, so I am a Messianic Jew, and very, very proud of it. And I love Jesus. Cats. Memory All alone in the moonlight, I will dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness was. Let the memory live again. But I don't know the words too well. Like burned out ends, smoky days, the still cold smell of morning. Street lamp dies, another night is over, and soon it will be morning. Love me, it's so easy to leave me all alone in the memory of my days in the sun. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Chatty's here. Chatty, I have a book for you. And I sent it to you and it came back to me. So we need to get together with that address, okay? I say this because back in the day, like 4 years ago, I was reading portions of my book, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, to my followers on Facebook. And they told me that I needed to publish that book. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll just do that myself. Because I had already published a book. Do You Think About Me on My Birth? No, I'm sorry, that's this book. Like It Was Yesterday, a journalist file since 9/11. I had published that book, but I didn't really do it by myself. I had a lot of help. Oh, wait, Mordecai has another question. I got to look back here. Well, may I explain what is said in the Sanhedrin? My friend, I'm sorry to tell you, but belief in Yeshua is idol worship. I want you to have a place in Olam Haba. Okay, well, I know, Mordecai. I know. The Jews have talked to me about Jesus. And I just got to say, I don't think that Jesus is idol worship. In fact, I really love. I believe you did, Chatty. I think you did. I had you on the list. But anyway, I love Jesus. So I accepted Jesus in 2018, and there were a lot of reasons why I did, and I'm never looking back on that one. So you say what you want. I know. I know I've had fellow Jews say things to me about it too, but it is what it is. I love Jesus. Jesus is just all right with me. Thank you, Sender. Jesus is just all right. Whoa, yeah. I don't care what they may say. I don't care what they may do. Jesus is just all right with me. Jesus is just all right. Oh, yeah. Since I accepted Jesus, my life has gotten better. That's all I can say. I mean, for real, like I'm really, really happy. And I feel closer to God than I ever have before. And I walk in faith, just like Jesus did. And I just totally inspired by him. So I know Jews, they don't like it. They don't like it when you tell them you're messianic. And but on the other hand, a lot of people are messianic, and everywhere I go, I meet people who are messianic just like me. Chatty. So go to joelbooks.com and just send me a message. That's all you got to do. So this is exciting. Yep. Okay. Well, thank you, Mordecai. Thank you. We can still be friends, right? Jesus loves you too. I know. I shouldn't say that. I'm not joking, but I really do believe that. I really do. Yeah, going to the spirit in the sky, 'cause I got a friend in Jesus. It just is. Put your hand in the hand of the man. I know. I don't know all those songs. You know, I probably know more songs that Mordecai knows than I do with the Jesus songs. It's true. It's true. And I'm still a Jew. So is Jesus. I'm super weird. I like being weird. It's just the way I am, you know. Like my kids are like, "Mom, can't you be normal?" And I'm like, "Not gonna happen. No. Have you met me?" Okay, well, Chatty, stay here. I'm on YouTube, okay? Don't worry about it. Thank you, Mike. You guys are great. Um, let's see. Do we want to sing a song or do we want to talk about dun 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 Nexium? Or, ooh, here's one that I didn't talk about. The Inner Circle. It was called DOS. Have you ever heard of DOS? This is a really bad one. Dominus Obsequious Sororium. This was a secret subgroup. I can't even say secret subgroup that shocked the world. There were women recruiting other women, which by the way happens all the time. You know, you think a man's scary, but some women, man, they'll blow you out of the water. They'll be all sweet and sunshine, and they're actually working for the man. So put your hand in the hand of the man who stilled the water. Yeah, if you put those lyrics in, I could sing that one. Thank you, just Dustin. Hi, Rick. Anyway, okay, so it was women recruiting other women. There was a master-slave hierarchy. You know, you think the lefties are always screaming about slaves. There are so many slavery things going on today. Slavery did not go out with the black people back in the day, back in the World War, or no, I mean Civil War. No. No, slavery is very much happening right now. Obedience enforced through blackmail, like literally making people do things or you're going to do something to them. Oh, I love you too, Chatty. Women branded with Keith Rainier's initials. And I have your signed book. It's all signed ready for you. It's just, yeah, address didn't work. I'm sorry. This was the Nexium. This was the Keith Rainier thing. Oh, yeah. This was their inner circle called DOS. It was terrible. That was where they branded the women. And women had to hand over nude photos of themselves. They had to tell them their worst personal secrets. They gave over their rights to their property. They even told false confessions just so they could tell them something. It was horrible. And the people who were involved were wealthy professionals, actors, heiresses, entrepreneurs. One of them was Catherine Oxenberg's daughter. And Catherine Oxenberg went crazy knowing that her daughter was in this sex cult. And she was one of the reasons that they got caught because she was a mama bear exploding. Vicky, who are we talking about? Not me. What are your options or opinions on life getting worse decade by decade? I was born in 1976, and I remember how pleasant the 90s were in New York City. I was there for that. And now things are like a nightmare. Well, that's because New York City's being run by a communist. So there's that. But yeah, I remember when life was a lot better. In fact, the future was so bright we had to wear shades. You are 10 years younger than I am, Mordecai. And yes, I remember life thinking it was going to be wonderful and get better all the time. It's getting better all the time. It's getting better. Always true to my word, Chatty. Always true. And I'm so glad I could finally tell you this because I've got your signed book. Yeah, you mean opinions. I get it. My 401k diminishing every day. I don't know. I haven't looked at it lately, but it's still there as far as I know. Anyway, I have a lot of opinions about a lot of things. And one opinion I have, though, is that we have to work together to make the world a better place. And we can't just sit here and make fun of each other and curse at each other and say, you're so stupid. No, you're the stupid one. You know, all that stuff. It just doesn't work. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. And that's true. We need more love. We need to be kind and care for each other. We really do. And I'm not saying that as a lefty because I don't believe in coddling people. I don't believe in taking care of people who can take care of themselves. I think one of the most important things is that people learn to take care of themselves first. You know, when you raise a child, your greatest wish is that that child is raised to be independent. Tikkun Olam. I know what it is, Mordecai. And yes, I'm a Jew. And Jesus also is a Jew. So there's that. We have that in common. But yeah, I think that we do need to take care of each other. And I think that tearing other people down just for sport is not good for the person doing the tearing. I think it's actually worse. I was born in 1965. I am one of the first Gen Xers and super proud about that. Growing up in the 80s was one of the greatest joys of my life. And, you know, I feel so bad for people growing up today. I think it's really, really sad. Yes, Jesus is our Savior. All right, you're going to go? Bye, Mordecai. Come back. We're still friends, right? All right, what do you guys want to talk about now? Let's see, what time is it? It's 9:30. I'm going to have to sign off pretty soon. But here's something that I want to say about this human trafficking organizations, and why it matters in the big picture. Because, you know, human trafficking, it doesn't always look like kidnapping. And thank you, Tom. Oh, you said Bernie Clip it must go. Oh, sorry, Mordecai, I misunderstood. I don't know what that means. Anyway, human trafficking. It doesn't always look like kidnapping. Sometimes it looks like mentorship. Sometimes it looks like empowerment. Sometimes it looks like coaching. Sometimes it's community. It's your friend group. Sometimes it's about self-improvement, not empowerment, but improvement. Because these predators, they're using psychology. They don't have to use force a lot of the time. They can mess you up just by promising you a better life. I live in Florida, Barco. And just because you're wealthy and you have status does not mean that you're not going to be exploited. That actually can enable exploitation. You know, the group Nexium, for instance, they had money, they had lawyers, they had PR, they had influence, and they had social credibility. And that's why Keith Raniere and his merry band of horrible people, they were allowed to last for so long. I grew up in the 90s. I love the 90s. I even got in trouble buying Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden CDs. My dad flipped out. That's funny, Mordecai. I actually got my music savvy from my dad, who raised me on Pink Floyd and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Mozart. I love Florida too. Oh, Melbourne. Melbourne in Australia, or do you mean Melbourne, Florida? Yeah, Melbourne, Florida is beautiful. So, people can be abused in front of everybody in plain sight. Most people had no idea what was happening to the people that were involved in Nexium and these other horrible trafficking rings. And oftentimes people ask for help and they don't get it because nobody believes them. That's why I'm talking about it now. Because we have to believe that this happens. We have to look for the signs. We have to look for the signs of child abuse. We have to look for the signs of trafficking. It can be happening in the house next door to you. These groups I'm talking about here were international and run by wealthy people, famous people, but it could be as bad as just the kids next door, the guy next door. So I'm from Seattle, which is grunge music capital. Yep, Seattle's got that grunge music. I don't really know. I'm not really a grunge music person, but if you guys want to do one more song, let me know. If you want to talk about something else, let me know. I'm about at the end of my evening here that I've spent with you. It's so nice. I'm so glad we had this time together. Who knows what this means? I'm so glad we had this time together. That's for old people right there. If you know it, let me know. Hey Mark, how you doing? All right, so I'm thinking, what's a good song? Let's see, what's that one I like to do for nighttime? You've not heard of Nexium. It's NXIVM. They do it with Roman letters. Look it up. It's pretty crazy. Hello, Chef. Yeah, no Valentines for me. My Valentine's in heaven. He's always my Valentine. Vicky knows the Carol Burnett show. I did the ear tug, Gretchen. I did it. Yeah, Chatty, send me your address. Fort Myers. Oh, you're also in Fort Myers, Mark. Yeah, it's chilly out, isn't it? Hi, Holly. Yeah, Tim Conway, Harvey Korman, Dr. Leonard Cohen. Yeah, I have always heard of him, but I don't know anything. He's no relation to me. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, he's always in my heart. I'm a happy widow now because my husband's not suffering from cancer anymore, and he is happy, and I'm happy, and we're kind of still together. I don't know, hard to explain. I do like to talk about bereavement and grief, and losing your husband, your wife, your parents, even. Some people have lost their children, and I'm fortunate enough that has not happened to me, but I did lose my little dog last year, so it does feel like a piece of my heart is tugged out there. Anyway, but yeah, Vicky knows. Hearts are in heaven. Yeah, it's gonna get warmer this week. Don't worry, Mark. I know we feel bad, we Floridians, so we're like, it's in the 60s. It's really cold. It's like I use my hair as a coat. Like, oh, I'm so cold. So you're talking about some Epstein's type stuff. Yeah, really hard to think about, Mordecai. I'm talking about it because we have to. We have to discuss it. We have to warn kids to never, ever let anyone take advantage of you. One of the problems is that people, young people especially, they think they're going to get something. They think they're going to be famous. You're going to be a model. You're going to travel. You're going to see the world. And it just doesn't work like that. All right. I do all these deep dives. I've got notes over here. It just never ends with me. So anyway, um, I did want to read a chapter from my new book. Maybe I should read that to my members group. I don't know, because I have to work on this, but this is kind of the introduction to my new book. It's called 7 Years in Switzerland. And I'm just going to read it. It's not very long. I've just been working on it. And sometimes when you are a writer and you're writing a book and you kind of feel like you're working in a vacuum, you know, but I like to try things out on people. So if it's okay with you, can I read you the open to my new book? At least what I have so far. Raise your hand if you want to hear it. If you want me to sing, we can do that too. Mustache. What? This person, nice mustache, no hate. First of all, I don't have a mustache, but I think you do have hate. Okay, everyone else wants to read. Yeah, thank you. Get rid of that person. Yes, the book. Okay. All right. All right. Are you ready? So I get really nervous. It's called What is an American? What is an American? I was born into this country, right in the middle of it. Denver, Colorado, November 1965. If I had been born today under the same circumstances as an unwanted pregnancy, I probably wouldn't have survived. My father tried to have me aborted in 1965, but fortunately for me, there were laws against that. He had no rights, and because of that, I lived. My mother gave me up for adoption, and that is how I became an American. An American with the right to exist in this country, but no right to know where I came from. There is and always has been no one more reviled in this country than the illegitimate pregnancy. Apparently, conception at the wrong time to the wrong people is the worst crime a person can commit, a crime punishable by death, if the law allows it. My mother was devastated when she found out about me. My father was terrified that my mere existence would destroy his future career. When he was denied the right to kill me, he chose another path. He decided that he would control me instead. He wanted me placed into some kind of controlled setting in the mountains of Colorado where scientists would observe my behavior and attempt to influence my decisions. An experiment, a solution. My mother refused. She knew this man would stop at nothing to turn me into his project. So she did the only thing she could to protect me. She gave me away. And on the day I was born, I suffered the greatest tragedy a person can suffer. Instead of being placed into the arms of the woman whose voice I had known for months, I was handed to strangers. Babies know things. By 20 weeks of gestation, babies can hear. And if they can hear, they are listening. Mothers know their babies in the womb, and babies know their mothers. Imagine leaving the only home you have ever known, expecting to be with the person you have been with for 9 months, and she is simply gone. Her voice, her smell, her body, gone. Everyone feels sorry for babies whose mothers die. This is what my mother told people, that I had died. But I hadn't. I was alive. I was American and I was in purgatory. I was punished for existing. Punished because my father hated me, obsessed with me. He saw me first as an obstacle, then as a challenge. He failed. I survived. Maybe that is what an American is. What do you guys think? I made your day? All right, I'm just gonna sit back, gonna wait. Tate loves it. Thumbs up from Gretchen. Great job. Well done. Thank you. Oh, Margaret's here. Hi, Margaret. I didn't see you earlier. Vicky's blown away. I know, Margaret. Joyce says yes. Oh, good. Thank you. I look forward to reading it all. Thank you, Holly. Cool. All right. I know it's a little bit, it's not angry. I'm not angry. But I'm a survivor. That's right, consciousness. I think about a lot. I'm a conspiracy theorist because when I was born, my whole life changed. I know it's so weird to say such a thing when you're born, your whole life changed, but you know, you expect things to happen when you're born. Every baby does. Every baby expects to have a mother. Thank you, Tate. Thank you so much. But some babies are expected to figure it all out on their own. Being adopted is it's a trip, and you don't really think about it that much when it just is your life. Thank you, Holly, so much. But the older I get, and I'm about to become a grandmother, by the way, and that is very exciting for me because when you are born as an adopted child, you start to think that there's people in the world that you have no access to. You know, you think that's normal, that it's not normal. You think you don't have options, but you actually have more options because there's nobody holding you back. That's what I think. I've been researching this whole adoption thing a lot lately, and I see a lot of really angry people out there. And there was an angry person on my show earlier just flipping out over people who are abused and maybe shouldn't be alive. You know, that's not for us to say. My friend's mom won't let her know who her real dad is. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it isn't for any one person to say, this is how it should be, or that is how it should be. And I've always been against abortion. I almost was an abortion. In fact, when I met thank you, Stuart. Yeah, I know, I get, it's like the greatest thing in my life. Anyway, I found out when I was a teenager how my biological father tried really hard to have me aborted. He told me a whole story about it. It's in my book. And, you know, just finding that out really messed with my head. It made me very, yes, it's very long hair, made me very kind of confused about identity and, you know, who belongs here and who doesn't. And then I would have friends who are very pro-abortion. And they will talk about it like, you know, Like it's a good thing. Not thinking that I'm right there, I am the baby. I have the baby's point of view. I've never personally been confronted with an unwanted pregnancy for real. I mean, I have thought, oh, this could happen, and I'm actually really lucky because people like me are more at risk of having unwanted babies and all that stuff, and just perpetuating a family cycle. Finding out might bring someone real bad into her life. Yeah, that's true too. But like I have this friend and she just loves abortion. It's like, okay, but and when she talks about it, I'm like, do you not realize that if I had been aborted, I wouldn't be your friend? And she says things like, I wouldn't even know the difference. But here's the difference. We do know the difference, okay? We do know what life is like with me in it. And to tell me that nobody would know if I was here or not is really pretty rude. Okay? So if you have adoptive friends and they get kind of squirrely when you talk about abortion, that's why. Because it makes us feel like we don't belong here. We're lucky to be alive, right? My other friend's dad got him a present gift of rocks and made him open it on Christmas in front of the siblings. Cruel. Yeah, there are cruel people. I know, Tate. I stay friends with people even when they say the horrible things to me because, I do think she doesn't really understand what she's saying. She loves me. I know she does. But she doesn't understand how it hurts. A lot of people just don't understand when they hurt people like that. And, I don't judge them. No, I'm not judging anybody, but that's right. My children and soon to be grandchild would not exist. Thank you, Holly. That is very not lost on me. Is that I created two people and now they're going to create another person. That's three people. That's a lot. Three good people. Soon to be four. So, yes, famous actors are adopted, and I think there's a reason for that, Chad. I think that a lot of people who are adopted, you find out that, not having parents is the worst thing that can happen to a child. Not having anybody love a child is the worst position a child could ever be in. I am the trunk of my family tree. You're right, Gretchen. Well, I do have a mother and a father and even a sister out there. I do. So I am not the only one, but I don't really talk to them much. But yeah, a lot of people are adopted. And how about all the famous people who adopt kids? Mommy dearest, it doesn't always work out very well. Because a lot of times kids are adopted in order to help adults. For instance, my parents couldn't have children. My mother had 3 miscarriages before I was adopted. So I was adopted as a cure for infertility, which is why a lot of people are adopted. And you know what, LaDonna? I didn't know he was giving $5,000 to people to have a child. I know he's giving all the new babies $1,000, and my grandchild will be one of them. My adoption, lucky, unlucky. Yeah, Raymond, that's only for you to decide. I know my adoption was lucky. And you know why a lot of adopted people are famous? Is because when you are traumatized, especially on the day you are born, Danish says, I really want to talk to you for hours, but you have so many friends who love talking to you. That's because you are truly good-hearted. That's sweet, Danish. You're right. People want to talk to me for hours. That is what happens. When you hold these little grandchildren in your arms, you can smile and think to yourself, I did that. Oh, I'm already there, Margaret. I'm already there. I saw an ultrasound and I was like, ah, like I've been waiting my whole life. I love, love, love creating people. And I do feel like it's a big F you to the man who tried to kill me. Yeah. I don't talk to him. I don't like him. I don't appreciate how he treated me. As a child, as a teenager, he tried to hurt me in so many ways. He doesn't even know. And, you know, that's me again, giving grace to those who know not what they do. But people can be very cruel without even knowing how cruel that they are. Well, you know, LaDonna, I'm going to write that book called What the Fuck. So, by the way, I'll talk about it again. I'm writing a book that is called What the Fuck because I love that word and I want that word to be part of a book. I just think it's important. I don't know. Tell me if it's crazy. Yeah, my poor teeth. They look good now. I've lost 3 already. They're falling out. So pray for my teeth. Yeah, that's another issue I have. I do need money for dentist. So if you want to help me out there, that's a big deal. Very, very big deal. So yes, please admire my natural teeth while I still have them. Because this one's gone, and this one's gone, and this one's gone. And it's bad. It's so bad, you guys. I know, they still look beautiful now. They do. I can't tell you how much longer that's going to last. Let's hope. Beauty doesn't last forever. That's why you can't count on it. Because it does not last forever. Sometimes you have to just give it up. So you don't want to rely on any one thing. All right, you guys. Well, gosh, it's already 10 o'clock, so. Deb's cracking up. I warned I'm going to come back as a parrot caught in a ceiling fan screeching, what the fuck? Oh my God, I'm going to put that in my book. I just love people, you know, and I love life. And I do feel so grateful to have this life, to be here. I'm so glad we had this time together. Yeah, I love you guys. I always have fun with you on my show. Yeah, it's important. You guys have gotten me through a lot of hard times. I know I've gotten you through some hard times too. We are a family. If you're new to the Beach Report, get to know everybody else here because we are a family. And many of the people that you see me chatting with have been following me for the past 10 years. Wait, Las Alagonas has very good cheap dentist in Mexico. Patrick, I know. Oh my gosh, my BFF, she got her teeth done in Mexico and she has to go back and she's trying to talk me into going with her. I'm thinking about it. I can't even afford that right now though. So the biggest thing, I just want to get like a flipper. That's like a fake tooth to stick in here. Because this bothers me. Like, it's really annoying. Eating, talking, it's like I have a lisp. It's not good. It's not good. My poor teeth. All right. Well, anyway, Beach Report people, I love y'all. You are the best part of my day. And I'm going to try to get a good night's sleep and start all over tomorrow. And maybe I'll get to you guys a little earlier tomorrow. And I always take you awesome places. That's right. We don't just chat. We go places. Implants. I'm not getting an implant, Patrick. I'm not doing that. Yeah, that's way over my pay grade. Margaret says our restaurant was super busy tonight, so we got home late. Sending love. Sending love back to you too. Sweet dreams to you too. Oh, that's the song. That's the Mama Cass song. How does that go? Wait, let me look it up. And I'll sing it for you. Oh, dream a little dream. That's it. I'm going to do it Acapulco because it would be crazy to ruin my monetization. And I've been on for like 2 hours or what? How long? 105 minutes. That's a lot. But I can... All right, that's it. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me. When I'm alone as blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. All right, I'm going to say goodnight, you guys. I would love to keep singing, but I think my voice is going out too. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I think I could do it. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams to leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they'll be, dream a little dream of me. All right, good night, everybody. Ciao for now. See you on the next Beach Report.